Everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Sambu from Cloud Tech. Today I am going to demonstrate AWS RoadMap 2024. Like if someone interested to learn cloud, then how they can start, like entry level. If someone interested to learn cloud in 2024, then how they can start the cloud journey, right? So that part I am going to show you today in this demo. Okay guys, so let's move on to this one by one steps. Like first of all, let's understand like what the aws is. Like Amazon Web Service, which provide like lots of services, and that like there are different kind of services, and there are different kind of service which will use for different purpose. But if someone want to start the cloud journey, right, then it's not necessary to know each and every service at entry level. Let's first start the beginning few service which are more required everyday lives, or maybe which are more frequently required. Those service today I am going to show you, and also I will show you like what could be the next level advanced services that we need to know also. Okay guys, so let's see that what like our basic requirement. Like if you want to start, like if you want to launch one EC2 instance, like if you want any computing service, right, then what basically we need to do in this roadmap, right? So let's talk about AWS EC2, like what all component basically we need to know about if you want to learn the EC2. Okay guys, so EC2 have like first of all it will come what type of EC2 instance you want to launch, and inside that instance type nothing but like how many CPU you want, what could be the processor, like those kind of thing. Based on that instance type only it will be allocated. Okay guys, then one more interesting thing will come like key pair, which will used for like if you would like to connect your EC2 instance through SSH or maybe putty, then we need to generate the key pair. For that we need to use the key pair. Then elastic IP is nothing but static IP. Disk is like kind of storage like volume, and it's in AWS we are using like EBS, elastic block storage. In our next session slide maybe we'll talk about more details on that. And then VPC is the virtual private cloud, which is the network, like private network, which we'll talk about more details in my next slide. And then script is nothing but the user data script. Okay guys, if you want to execute your own script, then how we can execute to the EC2 instance, right? That also part. These are the main component part as belong to the EC2 instance. Okay guys, apart from these are many are there. I will give all this like all these details whatever I am talking about: elastic IP, disk, VPC, script, key pair. All this video I have already demonstrated in my previous session. I will give every video in this link to this video description. Okay guys, you guys can refer that. And next level it will come the AWS VPC, right, virtual private cloud. What all component basically it is has like CIDR, nothing but like what could be your IP range, how it will be calculated. All these things I have already demonstrated in my previous session. You guys can refer my VPC session. Okay guys, and ASG it also belong to VPC, like security groups, and subnets also belong to VPC, which can be private subnet, which can be private public subnet. IG is nothing but internet gateway, which is belong to VPC, and then NAT gateway also we are using here, and then RT is nothing but the route tables. Each and every VPC, whenever you are creating the VPC, right, then we need to create internet gateway. Like more details about the VPC I have already demonstrated. You guys can refer that video also. And endpoints is nothing but if you want to connect that any of the instance or anything by using endpoint, how we can do that purpose we can use. I have already demonstrated about this endpoint too also. Okay guys, and in advanced level if you want to learn the VPC, like a VPC prologs, VPC virtual private network, transition gateway, and VPC peering, these all each and every part I have already demonstrated. I will give that link to this video description also. Peering is nothing but VPC peering 2 or 2 to 3, 1 to 1, how we can do the peering part. That part basically VPC peering. Okay guys, next it will come one more interesting part is the security. Now network is done, security is the one more important part. Security, what we have like one user or maybe user groups of user, what can be this, what kind of security we want to give. Like Security is nothing but what kind of service that particular user can access, right? And one more component SSO, single sign-on. This is also one more popular identity provider. Okay, and roles and policy, like roles are like what kind of roles should I assign to that particular users or group, what kind of policy, like this policy is like kind of like you want to give the access S3 service, you want to give only EC2, you want to give only read, or you want to give only write, you want to give administrative. This kind of custom policy, if you want to assign, then policy also you can create. These are the parties there. Now next will come the Route 53. This is one important service provided by AWS. If you want to like basic part, this is also belongs to basic part only. Like Route 53, basically it's like a DNS service provider, which will like if you want to, like suppose if you want to redirect your request from one URL to another URL, this Route 53 we can utilize it. I have already demonstrated how we can utilize this Route 53 in my previous session. I will give that link to in this video description. Hotel component, basically it has like hosted zone and then health check and IP based routing and traffic flow. And hosted zone also there are different kind of type is there, like public hosted zone, private hosted zone. To more about these details, I have already demonstrated. You guys can refer that to also in this. I will give that link to this video description. The next step will come the CloudWatch. This is also one interesting topic, like one interesting service provided by AWS, which is basically used for audit purpose. Like if you want to check your logs, if you want to check your alarms, metrics, events, logs, groups, those purpose we can use this one. Okay guys, how we can demo like troubleshoot the CloudWatch logs, all these things that I have already demonstrated. I will give that link to also in this video description. Okay guys, next will come the CloudFront. This is also one interesting service which is basically distribute your need what I can say, like traffics, distribute your traffics across different region or different edge location. Like basically what purpose we can use, like what the meaning is that if you want to suppose one news channel we have in India, we have that same news channel in US, but while you are broadcasting your channel news, right, India, whatever news content you are broadcasting for the Indian customer, the same news may or may not require to broadcast in US, right? So for that purpose we can use this CloudFront. So I have already demonstrated how we can use it, so you can refer that. Basically it's have distribution, policy and function. Okay guys, and next will come the Lambda. This is one more important features provided by AWS, which is like serverless architecture. In AWS there are many serviceless things there, like Lambda. We can say one thing, one is the Projecc is there. Okay guys, Projecc I will talk about in my next slide, maybe more details. Lambda basically what purpose server, as naming itself we can understand, like serverless, right? Serverless meaning without server. If you want to execute your application, then you can utilize this Lambda function. Okay guys, hotel component, basically it has like layers, Lambda layers. If you want to test like your Lambda function by AWS console or maybe in other different way, if you want to test the Lambda, then how we can test that part also there. Environment variable, basically like in advanced level Lambda, if you want to explore, then if you want to dynamically pass any environment variable, like suppose predefined timeout is 5 minutes or 15 minutes suppose, then on top of that if you want to override anything or any suppose any variable, suppose S3 timeout or connection timeout or request timeout, if you want to override those kind of parameter, then we can utilize this environment variable. And API gateway also one interesting part here. By using that also, this is kind of provide the endpoint, like this entire Lambda will behave like a REST API. Okay guys, by using that you can make the Lambda as a REST API. So for that purpose also we can utilize the API gateway. Okay guys, I have already demonstrated that too also in my previous session. Okay guys, next is coming one interesting, when you are creating the EC2 instance, then we need this one more component like AMI. Okay, I forget to mention that in EC2 section. So AMI is one more important part here. Like whenever we are launching an instance, along with selecting the instance type, volume, disk, security group, VPC, along with that we need to select the image type also. Image, what kind of image you want to launch, like AMI your own image or custom image, or maybe you want to launch from whatever template is available in AWS, right? that we need to select. Okay guys, that Amazon machine image is a launch template basically. Okay, for more details you can refer my AMI video. Then one more part, it will come like auto scaling, which will like auto scaling groups, and which basically used by naming itself you can understand, like if you want to scale it up and scale down your application, then we can use this auto scaling. And then one more is the elastic block storage, which I just talked about, like in EC2 instance. When we are creating the EC2 instance, we need to allocate the storage. That storage is nothing but the EBS is nothing but the elastic block storage. Okay guys, next is come as a simple storage service like S3. This is also one important service. When you are entry level, you are starting your AWS, then S3 is the important service. Okay guys, next is coming the RDS. Like if you want to store data in persistency in any database, then apart from the EBS or S3, then you can utilize the RDS, like Amazon like provide on relational database, and that can be Postgres, that can be Aurora, that can be MySQL, whatever you want you can utilize. Okay guys, next is coming ECR, ECS, and Fargate and EKS. This all are like containerized service. Like if you want your like your Docker, Kubernetes, EKS, like Kubernetes, those kind of thing, or Elastic Container Service or Elastic Container Registry, how we can utilize that part, we can use it. And if you want to deploy your ECS, if you want to run to serverless, or maybe if you want to run that ECS container to EC2, that up to your choice. If you want to do Fargate, then you can use the Fargate, is kind of serverless. Okay, then one more is coming like SQL, SNS, and ACS. So SQ simple queue service, actually this is a typo, SQS. It is basically SQL is different thing. SQL is the query structure, query language, but here I want to mean SQS. Okay, like simple queue service and simple notification service, simple email service. Okay guys, so basically these are service used for notification alarm purpose, right? If you want to notify, like suppose if service is down, if you want to notify to customer or end user, then you can utilize this service. Okay, next is coming AWS CI/CD. This is also important, like code commit, code build, deploy, those part if you want to do, then CI/CD we can use. And then another service will come DMS, like AWS provide data migration, suppose on-premise to cloud, cloud to on-premise. If you want to transfer your data, then we can use DMS, data migration service. Then data sync also we can utilize here, like if you want to sync your data, then you can utilize this data sync service. That part I have already, this all thing I have already demonstrated guys. I'll give this all the things topic one by one video in this video description link. Okay guys, you can refer this. Then system manager like SSM, like this is also one good interesting features. Here we can use like session manager, you can use parameters. There are multiple things you can use. I have already demonstrated like how we can utilize the session manager, how we can store our custom details to the parameter. Okay guys, next thing is coming as a DynamoDB, which is provided by AWS. Here we can also store our data, like kind of like we can say like it's kind of a NoSQL database, we can say. Okay, next is coming like ALB, NLB, like application load balancer, network load balancer, and one more is the classic load balancer, right? If you want to utilize in front of your application, if you want to put the load balancer, then you can use either application or network load balancer. And more details about that, please refer my previous session. Okay, then another thing is coming in security is the along with that security is the IAM, VPC, then KMS, like key management service also you can use for our security, like encrypt, decrypt that key by to do that we can utilize the KMS. Okay guys, then another thing is the snapshot not only for this snapshot is the important part, is kind of for disaster recovery, DRs. Okay, if your application or anything goes wrong, then for the DR purpose you can use the snapshot. And snapshot, that can be EBS snapshot, that can be RDS snapshot. Okay, and then how we can take, how we can utilize, how we can restore, how we can export, all everything I have already demonstrated in my previous session. Okay, next is coming the elastic cache. This elastic cache also important part, either you can use Redis or either you can use Memcached. whatever your requirement you can use. So caching part, as by name itself you guys can understand, each and every time it will not hit the backend. If anything is available to the cache, then it will put the return back to the response to the end user by using this cache. Okay, so these are the service, and many more services is there. Not only this, like it is apart from this, there are other services too is there, like if you want to do the big data, Hadoop, Spark, those kind of thing, then we have to use this thing like a what I can say, EMR. Okay, and another many other services is there. Maybe I have already demonstrated many other services in my session, so you guys can refer that too also. So I hope that will helpful to you guys. Refer my channel, that will really helpful to you guys. And if you feel this video is valuable, then I will request you guys, please subscribe, share with surrounding friends. That will really inspire to me and to motivate to me to create this kind of video. Okay guys, I will see you in my next video. Chalo, bye.